So I was just thinking about like, doing this practice, like on our personal little miracle about sleep or whatever, back pain, but how wonderful it would be to get to the point where we're tapping and believing in the miracle of total peace in the Middle East, or you know restoring, land back to indigenous people, or stopping, widespread pollution, and, you know, stopping racism. These are like that, those kind of miracles are possible too, you know? So anyway, it got me
Completely.
really, really feeling like that expandedness and that hopefulness. So thank you.
That is so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And what you just shared, Kat, it so ties in this whole ascension process beautifully because, like, in my Reiki trainings, I usually have a graph or a chart, which I don't have right now, but I imagine that the circle of my hand is the totality of all that is. And so you've got the light expression of everything on one side and the dark expression on the back side. So you've got beauty and ugly, you've got abundance and scarcity, you've got it all, and it's all on the same hand. And so while we don't like violence and oppression and greed and pollution and all those things that are here, they're a valid expression of the whole thing. The only reason they have more weight is because we keep putting our attention on it. It's the law of physics. What you put your attention on grows. And so if we continue, that's why they say what you fight, you strengthen. So war on whatever, it's never worked. And like Jim Carrey's like, we should have a war on farmers markets. That'll make them grow. Because it's true. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm realizing this in my own channeling and my own work lately. I'm become so picky about what I put my attention on, like the conversations I let myself participate in, because it's not just that I'm feeding the topic that I'm focusing on, it's feeding me back. So the information is coming into my energy field. Imagine yourself as having a bubble of energy all around you. Everything that you're thinking and looking at is sticking to you like a lint trap. So if we want to see peace in the world, but yet we're not doing the work to embody the frequency of peace, we're not contributing to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know any other better way to articulate it than that. So by doing what we're doing, by rewiring our minds, that miracles are the norm. Of course, I expect miracles. I don't need to know the answer. It's here. As soon as a problem shows up, the answer is right next to it. But they're in different frequencies. So as long as I'm problem oriented, I'm only going to get more problem energy. I've got to let go, get out of the way. My human is at the bottom of the mountain, can't possibly have the solutions because she's not vibrating in the same place where the answers are. I'm just going to trust. And if it's up to me, I will be in such a vibe of trust that the answers and the inspiration will come into my awareness, and then I'll know when to act. But we have to trust ourselves. We have to have boundaries, and we have to take action on behalf of those inspired ideas. Otherwise, we're just floundering that energy. We've got to anchor it into the physical world, and we can't do that if we don't have a miracle mind, because then we're deflecting it, right? So by doing this exercise for the next 7 days, you are becoming a conduit, a lighthouse, and inspiring other people. How does she keep finding miraculous solutions to everything? And then you tell them why. And you're like, well, look at, they just being around you, this radiance that we have, because we're choosing a new way of peopling, of relating with things. We don't get sucked into the drama. And in fact, we walk away from it. People are like, you just walked away from our political argument? Yeah, because you're not finding solutions. I'm going to go over here and radiate to the miracles, because that's where the solutions are. So, and we don't have to be like snobby about it. Be like, and we could even say, I heard Abraham Hicks say this today in like a mock example of someone who was on this same topic of, there's so much fucked up stuff happening in the world. How am I just supposed to focus on the positive? And then Abraham was like, well, just admit some days you're not going to be able to. Some days you're just going to be too mad. And you know that that's not going to be the day where you're going to access the solutions, and you be okay with that. Be like, I'm going to stay here and be pissed for a little bit. And I'm going to let myself be pissed. And then, you'll shift, and then you'll focus, and then but in that moment that I'm not a part of the solution right now. I'm too mad.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's okay. And I know that once I let the energy move through me, I will shift my vibration to a higher place. I'll get in my vortex, and from there, that's where the answers will come to me. But right now, I'm not there, and that's okay.